Hello, everyone. This is Tom Fox back for another episode of ECI Impact 2023. Today, I'm thrilled to have with me Larry Thompson. Larry, first of all, welcome, and thank you so much for taking the time to visit with me today.
Thank you, and it's good to be here.
So you've been a great friend of ECI over the years, and I wanted to maybe start with, on our first day, our first keynote was Pat Harned, looking back at 100 years of ECI, but also looking forward to the next 100 years. And I wanted to maybe start with asking you, where do you see the ECI, or more importantly, the role of ECI going forward?
Let me answer that question by first addressing where ECI and where E&C has come from. I've been involved in this field for a number of years. In the late 80s, I was a young lawyer, and I had as my clients 2 or 3 defense contractors. And the defense industry started with compliance programs. No other industry had it. And only after the establishment of the organizational sentencing guidelines in 91 or 92 did compliance take off. And to see the evolution and growth of the field as embodied in this conference is tremendous. It's gratifying.
So I started in the field in '07, and I've seen that growth as well. And one of the themes has been the evolution, not simply of compliance programs, but also the regulators in the form of the Department of Justice, compliance programs, professionals, and companies in the way they think about compliance, where when you began, it may have been a nice to have, but now it's just table stakes.
I agree, and it's gone from what I would say a rules-based, overly legalistic role to values. And companies now understand the importance of having a common set of values. So employees know that as you go forward, you're doing something that embodies and reflects the company's values. And I think that makes companies better. It helps the long-term sustainability of a company if employees know what to do, the right thing to do based upon the company's values.
And that certainly has been my experience as well. I used to tell people that compliance was written by lawyers for lawyers, and it has certainly evolved. And I would point to, in October of 2021, the current Deputy Attorney General, Lisa Monaco, talked about corporate culture and the importance of corporate culture. Her talk was memorialized later in the Monaco memo and the changes to the corporate enforcement policy. So we see this continuing evolution. And one of the things that I have observed is the Department of Justice, as the enforcer of the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act and other laws, has many ways has been the leader. And they've evolved in their thinking. And I've always wondered, I don't want to say there's a dialogue between the DOJ and external parties, but there seems to be some sort of communication back and forth. And the department may propose something, they may change that proposal, they may reevaluate. And was that your experience, and is that what you see now?
I agree, Tom. I do think the Department of Justice has been a leader. I do think with respect to some industries, there's also been a leadership component. So, for example, as I mentioned, the Department of Defense has in terms of the defense contractors, has always stressed not only compliance, but ethics and integrity and values. And I think also in the financial industry, which has been more rules-based. But I do see more and more organizations understand and recognize the importance of ethics and compliance. For example, I have been a board member of a number of public companies, and the National Association of Corporate Directors now understands the importance of culture, and that's one of the essential principles that the NACD has in terms of making certain that boards are effective. That is, that the boards take the leadership in establishing a strong corporate culture and in holding the CEOs and top executives of a company responsible for a culture of integrity.
We've been talking about really from the top down. I want to flip that to the bottom up, because another theme of this conference is there's a new generation in the workforce. There's a new generation of leaders coming in the workforce, and the values they have, frankly, are different than the values you and I grew up with, and that they are demanding companies with purpose. They are demanding values, and that they factor that into their employment decisions, and that it's not simply good business, it's a wide variety of stakeholders demanding that of companies. How do you assess that?
Tom, I think that's exactly right. I think employees increasingly today bring their whole selves to work, and they want to work for a company that reflects their values. They want to work for a company that reflects a culture of integrity and of a good purpose. So I think from the bottom up, I think E&C work is good business.
Larry, I wanted to thank you again for taking the time to visit with me, and thank you for your support of ECI.
Thank you. Good to be with you.